Chippewa County. We'll start with the pledge. Mr. Savoy, sir, would you please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mrs. Melford?
Commissioner Egan. Chairman Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McLean.
Here.
Commissioner Savoy.
Here.
And Commissioner Shackleton.
Here.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have election of the vice chairman. Do I hear any nominations?
I nominate Commissioner McLean.
I'll support that.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, I think, Commissioner McLean.
Done the job before. So.
Additions, deletions, and agenda approval. Anything we have there?
I'd move approval of the agenda as presented, the amended agenda as presented.
Any
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve the county board minutes, February 15th.
So moved.
Support.
Motion and support to approve the county board minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Correspondence received on page 11 in your packet.
I'd move that we acknowledge the correspondence received in the clerk's office and forward as appropriate.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Public comments. We have, yes, sir. If you would speak at one of the red seats, if you would.
Right here?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Nathan Michaels. I represent the U.S. Census Bureau for Chippewa County. Wanted to just make contact and let people know that the census is here and is upon us. People can respond either by mail, by phone, or by internet. And that's going to be starting this week. Mailing is going out, and residents will be getting mailers to respond to the census. The census is the backbone of much of the data that we need to provide funding as well as representation in our legislative process. So much of this you already know, but I'm just encouraging you all, as well as going around to different townships, to let them know that the census is here and their participation would be beneficial. We're also doing some hiring, and we still have a good amount of jobs available for people to hire. That's $21 an hour, 58 cents a mile.
Ooh.
And it provides a good supplement for people looking for work in this county. Other than that, the process that will take place with the census, people will be getting a mailing, or in rural homes, a census worker will be dropping off the census form to their door. They'll be asked to respond. If they don't respond, then they'll get a second mailing informing them to respond. If still they don't respond, someone will be coming to their door to help them. That's non-response follow-up. And that'll happen through July. So that's kind of the process of the census. Does anyone have any questions?
I did mine today and it was easy.
Perfect.
quick.
That's cool to hear. Thank you. Yeah, it's very quick and easy. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
And was it 10 questions in 9 minutes, or 9 minutes and 10
It didn't take
questions?
long. I did it online. You just punched in the number that was on your envelope and
Okay. Any more public comment?
Good evening. Karen Zenkis, Lana Steinhaus from the Health Department. We did provide the board a report a few days ago about the COVID-19 virus, and just wanted to give you a little update. Obviously, since we sent that report to the board, we have had 2 confirmed cases in Michigan. We still don't have any confirmed cases in Chippewa County. Things are moving very quickly. Things are changing almost daily in terms of direction from the state and direction from the CDC, but we are working closely with school officials, our healthcare providers. We've made contact with city officials, and our emergency preparedness coordinator is working with them on some issues. So I wanted the board to know that we are on top of things, that we are addressing things as they come up, but We also know that there's going to be a lot of questions, so feel free to ask us anything you want, and we'll try our best to answer.
We have been fielding questions from the public, we have been getting questions. Obviously, people are concerned, so we've been trying to allay their concerns the best we can, and with the information that we have available. Like Karen said, it is changing daily, and in fact, it can be changing from morning to afternoon, so we really are trying to keep up on it and get the information out as fast as we get it as well, so.
After Governor Whitmer's address last night, she had sent out quite a lengthy press release with a lot of community mitigation strategies, which we sent to Kelly this morning, and I believe she shared it with probably the whole board and everyone else at the county. So we do know that some agencies in the area are starting to take action with some things such as crowd control. I think some schools are starting to cancel some events. We know universities are starting to cancel or at least go to online classes. I think we're gonna see more of that, and the whole hope is that we don't see a large number of cases in the area or in the state or in the nation. That's why they're putting these mitigation strategies forth.
Slowing the curve is what they're putting out there, we're trying to slow the curve. It's obviously not going to stop, but if we can slow it, because otherwise it's gonna overwhelm our healthcare. And we know we have a small hospital, not many physicians, so we're a very small place, and we need to keep the sick being able to be treated if needed, and keep the healthy at home. So that's where we're going with it. And I know there has been, and I'm sure you've heard, there's been enough stuff on Facebook, enough stuff on the internet. We do try to get the right information out there, the correct information, and correct misunderstandings if we can, so.
We do have a link on our website, on the health department website, that goes right to the CDC website, and so you'll get the most current information there. So.
Okay.
We're forging ahead,
Yep.
doing our best.
Uncharted
Hand
waters.
sanitizer is
Uncharted
completely
waters.
sold out in town, I believe, but
Soap and water will do the trick.
yes.
Yeah, probably better.
All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and energy too. It's been a lot.
Yes.
Hopefully at next month's meeting, we'll say, we're over the hump. Things are looking better.
We would hope so.
I hope so.
Okay. Administrator's report, obviously, Mr. German is not here today. He is under the weather. And you can check on those pages if you wish, page 13 on, and take a look at the administrator's report. Anybody have any questions or concerns or comments? Okay. We'll move on then to new business. The appointment to Eastern Upper Peninsula Transportation Authority, fill the vacancy that expires 12/31/2020. Page 42. We had a lot of very good candidates. Now this is gonna be roll call, correct?
Yeah.
Ms. Hunter?
Chairman Martin,
Linda Garlitz?
Commissioner McLean,
James German.
Commissioner Savoy,
Linda Garlitz.
and Commissioner Shackleton.
Linda Garlitz.
Okay. You all set on that?
Okay, great.
So congratulations to Linda Garlitz again, I hope. She sees it that way. Next, we have Department of Veterans Affairs, and same thing there. We have one applicant. Yes, sir.
Can we move forward and make the second appointment on
I was we were gonna discuss that when we got to the resignation of,
So it's still on the table?
yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, where the heck, where is her resignation? There we go, when we get to, I,
Okay.
when we get to
Sorry,
I,
sorry, Jim.
we'll take a look at, no, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, Veteran Affairs, I believe we had, one candidate.
I think we can cast an anonymous
Unanimous consent.
consent for Commissioner Savoy to serve on that? Do you need a roll call vote on that, or we just all vote aye?
If somebody seconds it, we can vote aye.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second unanimous consent for Mr. Savoy to be on Veterans Affairs, filling the vacancy of Nick Hunt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now, he is going to serve kind of a dual role there. He is going to be both a voting member and our representative on the board. And if he cannot make a meeting, Mr. Savoy, where did you want to go with that?
I haven't
Do we
missed
want
any.
an alternate? Do we need an alternate?
I don't think we've ever done that.
No.
So they'll just be short ones?
I haven't missed any meetings so far the last 3 years.
Sounds good then. All right. Next, appointment War Memorial Hospital, vacancy expires December 31st, 2023, page 44. Okay, we'll have roll call on this one. A lot of candidates.
Chairman Martin,
Charles Palmer,
Commissioner McLean,
Tony Andery?
Commissioner Savoy,
Charles Palmer.
and Commissioner Shackleton.
I vote for Charles Palmer.
okay. Next, Chippewa County EDC letter support replacement of Telemetry Autonomous Communication and Control Command at CIU, page 33. Any discussion on that?
I guess I can address that. This is part of the Michigan Launch Initiative. There are originally two components, the vertical launch and the horizontal launch. They've decided to, the horizontal launch initiative has been designated as going to Wordsmith Air Force Base in Oscoda. The vertical launch is still undecided. Then they indicated that there would be a separate command control center that would be awarded to someplace. And this is a letter indicating that the county commission supports the location of that command center, because we've already done one for the launch initiative for the horizontal and vertical. So this is a letter explaining that we would support that request. I guess it just helps our position if we have a letter from the county.
This would be great for our community.
Yeah, this is quite a deal. This would be mainly engineers and that type of thing.
Help with us, a shoes program.
Oh, yeah,
And we also have possibly room at Rayco.
Yep.
There, so we've got, if they want an off-site area, we could do Rayco and the airport both. You can go Sanderson Field if need be. So there's a lot of options for them. This would be awesome if we could get this. So,
I'd move approval. Do we need to do that?
Sure, go ahead.
Can't hurt.
Support.
Motion and support to support placement of the TAC and control command at Chippewa County National Airport. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 2020-06, Emergency Management and Safe Schools, page 34.
I'd move that resolution.
Motion for the resolution. Do we have support?
I'll support that.
Motion and support.
That's roll call.
Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Egan,
Aye.
Chairman Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
and Commissioner Shackleton.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next, we have Resolution 2020-07, highlighting the service of Michigan State Police Sergeant William H. Smith for his many years of service.
So moved.
Support and support. Any discussion about his 26 years of service? Okay, there being none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Egan,
Aye.
Chairman Martin,
Aye?
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Commissioner Savoy,
Yes.
and Commissioner Shackleton.
Yes.
It's hard after 10 years, isn't it? Mayor Chairman Martin, is that looking around? All right, so, we've got that. Next, appointments. We have a couple changes here with, where, I will move on to, the recycling committee as board chair. And then we have, emergency food and the, finance, the chair for that will now be Commissioner Savoy. The vice chair on that will be Commissioner McLean. And then, building grounds, Commissioner Savoy is the chair there. Commissioner McLean is still on that board, and Commissioner Shackleton will replace me on that board.
Yes, sir.
And, let's see, we need a motion for that?
Nope, sure your appointment.
Meeting schedule change time, for September and October, page 39. I have, obviously, in track, I have a little more leeway, but, cross-country, I'm the big dog, so I really need to have September 3rd and October 8th. If I could have those two at 5:30, as opposed to 4:30, that would be great. And just an FYI for you all, April 2nd is during the school spring break, so I will be out of town for that finance meeting on August 2nd. I mean, on April 2nd, sorry.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, 5:30 on September 10th and October 15th also, for the regular
Okay.
board meeting.
And again, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it, but that's okay, because I'll do the best I can, and I would make the motion to reflect the chair's suggestion.
Support it.
Okay. Oh, now we can discuss it, correct? I mean, for finance, I could just be late for finance. If you wanna leave those at 4:30, that would work better for you all. I just realize I'm not chair anymore, so, I don't have to be there at the start. I'll get there as quick as I can, obviously.
I have no problem with changing them all. I mean, I don't know that, that many meetings, changing them to 5:30 is that big a deal for me.
You're only talking two, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, four.
Two
months.
Two finance and two
Right,
full
right.
board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 months is what I meant.
yeah, 2 months is,
We'll just
Yeah, just be September, October.
do the
I'm
best we can.
flexible, doesn't matter.
do the best we can. Just do it.
All right, and we can always revisit those. We've got all summer, we can revisit them
Sure.
if it pleases the commission. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, due to resignation of Jennifer McLeod,
Charlie Palmer. Charles Palmer.
we again
Savoy.
learn more about our job and, and that we're generally not in compliance, but we have taken that bull by the horns, and we've got things where they should be. Unfortunately, for Mrs. McLeod, who was a very good board member, in my humble opinion, unfortunately, she cannot swear an oath as a tribal member to anyone but
tribal
Tribe.
chair, or not chair, but tribal,
tribal board.
Board
Yeah, I'm sorry, she's a
yes.
member of the tribal board, I'm sorry,
Has
yes.
nothing to do with her being
Yes.
a tribal member.
Her being on the tribal board. So she had to resign, and that brings us to our next issue, and we had the advertising of that position. We have many good candidates, and I don't know if we need a motion here to discuss filling that second vacancy, or a motion here to discuss
Mr.
waiting
Chair.
another month for that.
Could I first just make a motion that we accept the resignation from Jennifer McLeod and send her a letter of thanks for her service?
Support.
Motion and support. Yes, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. All right, now then, we would have to have another motion then.
I'll put it up for discussion. I move that we would waive our appointment rules to make a second appointment to UPTA tonight. We can discuss it if we get a second.
I'll support.
May I discuss it then, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
We have a fresh batch of applications. I think one of the concerns was that Sugar Island would have a representative on it. Sugar Island now has a representative on it, and if it's okay with the rest of the board, I think we could move ahead and, complete the appointment process to the UPTA board. That does require a 2/3 vote, so, but, what's the rest of the board feel?
Commissioner Egan, shall we put you on the spot?
I'm of two minds of this, it was important that Sugar Island got representation. I'm glad to see that happen right away. I apologize for being late. I think it's very important that Sugar Island have a representative, and Ms. Garlitz will do a very good job at that, I'm sure. Going out for fresh, I'm of two minds, going out for fresh applicants to represent the Nevish Island would be nice, considering we didn't really get any candidates from that area. But at the same time, maybe we just do this with a neutral third party that, has skin in the game for all of them. I don't know. I think you could knock me either way if you had a compelling argument.
I thought you were the voice of Nevish Island.
Just Drummond. No, I tried to.
Drummond,
That's
I'm
all
sorry.
right.
I meant Drummond.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody from Nevish,
No.
I don't believe.
No, I think closest we had in years from Nevish was Rob Lakeman,
Yeah.
obviously he resigned. I think I mentioned at the finance that there's a lot of turmoil in the UCA board and operation right now, and I prefer to fill it tonight and not kick this can down the road any further. The sooner we get two appointments and maybe they can go to work and help resolve the issues that we're facing. I agree, we needed someone from Sugar. I'm doubtful we'll get an applicant from Nevish, and even if we did, I'm thinking maybe we need someone from the mainland because there are other issues besides the ferries. Obviously, ferries are probably priority, but we are well represented. So I'd like to do it tonight.
Commissioner McLean, sir?
I think we should go out for applications again. I think we advertised for a particular position. It said the termination date or with the ending date of whatever. And I think we need to go out and follow the process. And I don't think that a month is going to make a whole lot of difference in that situation.
Well, I guess the way I look at it, we have one undecided and two that want to take care of this tonight, and one that wants to wait a month. I feel more comfortable waiting a month and posting it, because it was only posted one position, and maybe somebody saw that someone from Sugar Island or somebody, whatever, and then they didn't apply for the position because, well, there's only one position, there's no need to Sugar Islanders applying for it. And as such, I am of a mind to wait a month, and I don't think a month is gonna make that much difference. You still have 4 very good members on the UPTA board, and I don't see anything happening in the next 30 days that says, oh my gosh, we gotta have 5 people there or else. So I would be of a mind then to honor Commissioner McLean's reservations and go ahead and have Kelly post this and wait another month to do this. Have that. Can we have? Oh, where'd Kelly go?
She's back there. She's
Oh,
hiding
hiding in the
behind
back.
Bob.
Socially distanced.
She's socially distanced.
That's right.
Very good. So she walks the walk and talks the talk, all okay. But if we could have maybe that closing date right before the finance committee meeting, so that we could, crud puppies. I'm not gonna be there at the finance meeting, I'll be there at the full board meeting.
Finance, all we do is accept the applications.
Okay, so, yeah, so if we could have, so we could do that then?
Yeah.
Thank you. You're
Kelly?
probably correcting me.
Yeah, we gotta vote. Let's,
Okay, so, then, how are we gonna,
So we need to go ahead and vote on the motion on the floor,
So-
which I think we know how it's gonna go, but we need to vote on it
okay,
nonetheless.
and then we will,
Yeah.
then we will have to vote to,
Repost, yeah.
yes, okay. All right, this roll call.
How are we
It-
voting on it?
Okay, the motion right now is to waive the rules and to proceed with filling the position. And that would require a 2/3 vote. And we can just voice vote because Kathy will know the score, I think.
So-
Or do you need a resolution?
No, that
Okay.
absolutely what you're saying.
So, all those in favor of essentially filling the position tonight, signify by
Yeah.
saying
Aye.
aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay,
So it was 3-2.
3-2. So we will repost that and we will deal with it next month.
Okay, do we need,
With,
Mr. Chairman?
yes, sir.
May I make the motion then that we post the position and have the application deadline be prior to the finance meeting? The applications be accepted at the finance meeting, and then the position would be filled at the regular board meeting of April.
I'll support.
Motion and support to repost, or I'm sorry, post Mrs. McLean's,
Clouds.
Mrs. McLeod's position, and accept those applications up to
What day do you want, Kelly?
April
The
2nd,
Wednesday is fine.
What is it?
Wednesday, April 1st, I believe.
Okay.
Wednesday, April 1st, at 5 p.m.?
We usually do 3.
3 it is then.
Should make Jim stay until 5 and get him.
I'll be in West Palm Beach, I'm sorry.
That's not happening.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have standing committee reports, finance, claims, and accounts. Finance, regular meeting, Chippewa County Board of Commissioners, Finance, Claims, and Accounts Committee was held on Thursday, February 5th, 2020, Chippewa County,
Holy
Village of
fuck.
St. Marie, Michigan.
Pardon me.
I called the meeting to
Disney-
order.
They just canceled it.
At 4:32.
Disneyland is
With
closing.
a quorum present, myself, Commissioner Shackman, Commissioner McLean, Commissioner Swart, and Commissioner Egan were there. No one was absent, along with Ms. Senkis, Ms. Forrest, Mr. Moher, Mrs. Moher, Mr. McLean, Ms. Lawrence, Ms. Sanders, Ms. Holt, Mr. Bartlett, Ms. Miller, Mr. Eitram, Mr. Bittner, Ms. Smith, Mr. Chairman, and Ms. Church. Moved by Commissioner McLean to approve the agenda. That carried. There was public comment. We went into closed session, at which point, do I have to read this whole thing in the closed session?
No, I don't know.
Okay. And we went into closed session, and on a roll call vote, that motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Was the
To go-
motion?
The motion is to go into closed session.
No.
No,
You
no,
don't-
no,
Okay,
you
so
don't
we
have to
should
do that
third
one.
Right.
Okay, so, we were in closed session till 5:25, and then we came out at 5:25. Boy, this is complicated. Can we just continue on into the agenda items, or do we have to?
To do regarding session, accept the advice. We should probably do that. Do we do the third one, Kelly?
I believe so.
Yeah, do the third one
to
after.
Come back out?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Shackman, supported by Commissioner Egan, to accept the advice of counsel regarding settlement discussion of the case of Keller versus Scher et al., case number 19-15802-NO, within the certain parameters discussed carrying closed session as part of the county's trial and/or settlement strategy on a voice vote by motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Agenda items, Patagonia Health, EHR for record software purchase, and waive the purchasing policy so that everything is in sync. Moved by Commissioner Egan, supported by Commissioner Savoy, to approve and authorize the purchase of waiving policy 242 for the Patagonia Health Integrated Electronic Health Record, ER software for public health, price is $76,540, and a 5-year price of $195,780.91. On a voice vote, that motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on the software? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Workers' compensation renewal, a very tiny increase. Consequently moved by Commissioner Savoy, supported by Commissioner McLean, to approve and authorize workers' compensation renewal with the accident fund for the health department at a cost of $17,967. On a voice vote, that motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support for the workers' comp renewal. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Health Department Financial Policy, Hospice Charity Care. Basically a new policy here where we're gonna try to help people out who don't have the means to pay. After a short discussion, moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Egan, to approve policy 2.02.004, fees and rates, hospice charity care, as presented. On the voice vote, that motion carried. I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support.
Chair can.
Any discussion?
I just wanna say that this is one of the few, motions that we get to
We
do,
don't often do it.
that actually makes me feel really good about this job.
Help the least amongst us. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Health Code, Chippewa County, review and approve for public comment period. Moved by Commissioner Egan, supported by Commissioner Shackman, to approve and authorize public comment period from April 1st through May 15th on the proposed update UP Environmental Health Code for Chippewa County. On a voice vote, that motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on the environmental health code? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Remonumentation, busy time. Again, just continuing with the program. Moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Savoy, to approve the program representative contract in the amount of $24,498 for William L. Carr. Chippewa County Surveyor to approve 2 monumentation contracts, one for $48,000 for 30 corners to Rogers Land Surveying, and $33,600 for 21 corners to Alpine Engineering. Approve 1 maintenance monumentation contract in the amount of $5,000 for William L. Carr. Chippewa County Surveyor to approve 5 professional service agreements for peer review.
Sidewalk's still there.
Surveyors, total not to exceed $4,800 for the following surveyors: Jeff Davis, Bay Lake Surveying, Neil Hill, Mackinac Country Land Surveying, Ginger Maholsky Wallace, Alpine Engineering, Larry Rogers, Rogers Land Surveying, and Lawrence Weinreis of MDOT. On the voice vote, that motion carried. Now it's so moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on the remonumentation? Yes, sir.
Just want to mention for the public that that is a state process where we go back and identify the corners on all the property in Chippewa County. It's a state effort, and it's something that they do every so many years, but it's been a long time since it's happened, but it's critical for people who are buying property and selling property that they be established. So this is a long drawn-out process. These surveyors have to slog through the mud and swamp and everywhere to find the corners, identify them, and mark them. So it's important.
This remonumentation has been going on for, I think, close to 20 years now, maybe.
yeah.
But they're getting close.
Yep.
They're probably 85% done, I'm thinking, on the corners.
And it also adds to our tax rolls, because sometimes there are spaces that were missed in previous, that are now being added to those rolls, so it's important for all of us.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Taser purchase, and the reason why we're waiving the purchase policy is we need to have charging system that is compatible with the ones that we already have. Consequently, it's moved by Commissioner Egan, supported by Commissioner Stoy, to approve the purchase of 14 T60 tasers with warranty and supplies, and to waive the county's purchasing policy in the amount of $26,624 to Axon Enterprise Incorporated. On voice vote, that motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
This is one of those, housekeeping things, but it always reminds me, at one time we joked about a commissioner being shot with a taser in some kind of fundraising. I still think that's a good idea, and
I volunteer, Connor.
I was going to volunteer myself.
I second
Thank you. But I'm saying, it's one of those things that,
I'm too old.
I'd gladly take it.
I
I've always
get
wondered
pulled
what it
the
would
trigger.
feel like but never had the guts to disobey a cop. So.
I'll put up $25.
Exactly. I know there's a ton of people out there that feel the way you and you and you do.
You pick the charity. All right, check right now.
All right, anyway, back to business, gentlemen. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have vehicles. We can put these all together, correct? Correct. It's just releasing RFQs for a Dodge Challenger police package, Ford utility police mix-up SUV, 12-passenger van for 2020, and a 2020 one-ton quad cab truck through the Stone Garden grant. Moved by Commissioner Savoy, supported by Commissioner McLean, to release the RFQs as presented, reference above, and a voice vote, that motion carried. Now it's so moved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on the release with quotes? All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Motion passes. Next, just some housekeeping on petty cash and making sure that literally every penny is accounted for. Moved by Commissioner Savoy, supported by Commissioner Egan, to approve policy 316 petty cash fund as presented. And the voice vote, that motion carried. And I would so move.
Support.
Motion and support. Petty cash cleanup policy. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Back tax request, this, long story short, there's a family in some financial distress, and we're trying to do what's best for,
Everybody.
for the family and for the county and for fairness to everybody else. It's something that has been done before, so there really was nothing new here. After discussing all of the different angles that and choices that we could have had, it was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Egan, to approve the settlement agreement as posed, accepting $8,000 to clear the non-diminishing mortgage from 8/2004, with the new owners being responsible for the back taxes and other mortgages associated with the Hobart Township property number 007-356-006-00. On a voice vote, that motion carried. Now it's under
Support.
motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
You called about that appointment.
Next, we had iPads for commissioners.
Oh, no, I like
We discussed that and decided it was not in our best interest. Moved by Commissioner Savoy, supported by Commissioner Shackman. Commissioners administration able to utilize information system personnel to assist with county-related technology set up requiring support. On the voice vote, that motion carried. Now it's so moved.
Support.
Okay. Motion and support. I did kind of came to a compromise on this, that IT would be able to help us as long as it was, as they say, company business, i.e. county business. So, just clarification there. But, yes, did you have something?
Yeah,
Commissioner Egan?
part of this was kind of for me trying to help the commission make sure that we stay modern, and I think these would have been a good step. Maybe not iPads or pads in general, but we need to look at, especially with things like this coronavirus going around, new ways of doing things, especially if it can, save time and money. And I see, both are possible in the future, especially if we change some of our rules, making it possible to do some of our housekeeping meetings by teleconference if absolutely must. It's just something that, we should continue to look at as we move into the future.
Okay. Any more discussion on this? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have the nominations for the positions that we just gave out. Do we have to do, one?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either, because I mean.
Or
it's
maybe
already done,
appointment.
So, oh, well, we'll take care of it next meeting. Kathy? Kathy?
No, no, no.
Next, paying the bills. Moved by Commissioner Savoy, supported by Commissioner McLean, to recommend the approval of February county bills and payroll general claims of $192,230.66. Other fund claims of $952,331.66. Payroll of $767,817.26. And the approval of January and February bills and payroll health department claims of $492,959.12. And payroll of $407,866.86. Total claims of $2,816,207.85. Voice vote, that motion carried, and I'm so moved.
Support.
Motion and support to pay the bills. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now we adjourned it at 6:02 PM, and I would move that we accept the minutes as presented of the Finance Committee.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next, Commissioner comments. Do we have any, gentlemen? Yes, sir. Commissioner McLean?
I want to mention that, we went through a process last year, working with the ice breaking committee and working with the Coast Guard. And it was quite a process. I guess we can feel that we were successful because this year the Coast Guard is breaking out the river, following historic practices, which is leading to less interruption than there had been before. They've also made some changes in what boats they allow, ships or whatever, to use the river during the winter, and recognizing that some of them were underpowered, which the Lake Carriers Association recommends not sending out in the ice, and it had been a practice, and they'd gotten stuck, and it created quite a hassle, but they limited the number of boats that could travel through the lower river during the winter, and that was a good thing, and we're happy with the results. At least I haven't heard any complaints from any islanders. Another comment that I have is relative to, sort of spins off on the same thing, because after the ice breaking committee did their work, the people in the committee felt that there was a need to put together a harbor safety committee, and that was done. They've been meeting, I think, once a month, and they wanted to look at, I'm on the committee, okay, so we wanted to look at some kind of projects that we could do in the river that would be more than just complaining to the Coast Guard. And we came across a number of them. One is, and you have a map of it here, I passed out earlier, it's in color. This shows the island number 1, which is on the other side of the river near Clyde's, near the ferry boat landing. There's an island there that has, well, it's been neglected over the years. And this is going to be a project of the Harbor Safety Committee to get together various groups and to add hiking trails, small boat landings, and other amenities in order to make it more useful. Yes?
Have you talked to
Danny Doherty?
Danny Doherty about working together with the kayak and the, was it water trail or?
Yeah. I'm assuming that will take place. We're right at the very beginning part of that, but I think it's a good idea to encourage people to cross the river and use the natural resources that are there for their enjoyment. So that's one thing that they're into. Another thing is that they're looking at what's called a risk assessment by the Coast Guard to look at the river as to problems that may exist that could be addressed. Sounds like we would take care of that, but It's done as a formal process, and the last one was done 20 years ago. And St. Agnes, I believe, had one done last year or the year before. It's something I think that should be looked at. So we're going to be promoting, recommending that the risk assessment be undertaken and completed. Another item that we're looking at, and this is an important item, it's also a large item, but we're working with groups like the Lake Carriers Association that for years has been lobbying and trying to increase the ice-breaking assets in the river. I believe the last boat that was commissioned to break ice is the small tugs or whatever they are here are at least 20 years old. They have a shelf life of only so long, and that the Lake Carriers Association is of the belief that been going at this for years, that we need more ice-breaking assets. We need more boats that can handle the job. We saw that last year. They had one boat went in for, or icebreaker went in for periodic repairs, takes the year. Another one, the engine blew up on it. We were short 2 icebreakers. And it sort of led to the problem that we had with Sugar Island. And it's something I think that's been recognized, and we're going to support the efforts of the Lake Carriers Association to lobby to get more ice-breaking assets here. So those are some things that came out of the Harbor Safety Committee that I wanted to make you aware of.
Very good. Couple things. I'd like to remind everybody, get their information from the Health Department or from the CDC, not from Ransom Raves, and not from Facebook, unless it's our Facebook site. 2, I wanted to thank Commissioner Shackleton for his leadership, his even-handed leadership, his fairness, his level-headedness, no matter how things went.
Emotional things got.
Yes, most of us got emotional, but he always kept that. And lastly, I would like to thank the rest of you for entrusting me with this position, because it will take all of us to get me through this first year. I don't know how we did this for 10 years. I've had like 10 days, and I'm losing my mind.
Doing fine.
But anyhow, yeah, he smiles a lot more, he laughs a lot more, I've noticed that. He's had the ball sitting there with the smell for it, so
A little less pressure down here?
I guess he's earned a little relaxation.
There's not as much room, but a lot less pressure.
So, that's all I have to say. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So we'll move.
Support. 50 minutes, that's not bad. That's so fast.
Fine job in your first meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.